almost like spring weather all of a sudden here in Japan. So, as a weekly reminder, check in to get the affirmation card from this mind body makeover card deck provided by Dr. Mona Lisa, who is a neuropsychiatrist, and learning about healthy way of thinking, reminding, and learning unhealthy way of thinking so that we can use our personal power to choose using our consciousness for ideal bedtime for the good resonance. And before starting, I just posted the mindfulness practice, the peace embodiment for empath, because probably I mentioned about this feeding up and down last week's personal power reminder broadcast. Then I took Monday off because it was too bumpy, and Tuesday I was mentioning about that. And tada, over the weekend, no wonder why what was causing some anxiousness in my own, little me world, regardless of what I didn't do, what I am. Something is off, one of these feeding. And I was gonna ask the specialist for astrology that, hey, is there any planet is moving strangely or whatever, and then realized that something unhappy situation created by human beings in the Russian, part of the earth. So that is actually making sense that we are all connected as one energy, and then especially for empath, wherever that you are physically located, in which continent, which country, but we are part of this oneness, and sensing all this, and then quite unsure what is causing this, and then realizing that, okay, no wonder that's part of the energy that we are picking up on it. So I just want to share that if you are resonating what I'm sharing and over the last week, that you are not alone. You are not alone. Um, just being empathic. So what we can do is to embody peace, which is always starting from within. Love, embodying love, it's self love and a peace of mind. It's the beginning of the word peace. So that's one of the reasons that I took a moment and then used origami as a tool to practice the mindfulness exercise, which my style is called the ninja style. And there's a many way to practice the mindfulness or meditation, but my way, my I prefer is to active mindfulness, like eyes open. I call it the ninja way. There's others. Zen is the monk way. Either way, what is fine as long as it fits and serve the purpose that you like to get. So if you feel like connecting to take a moment and practicing the embodiment of the peace, please feel free to join me. I kind of feed in that to do some embodiment as much as I can each day until feel fit, you know. So please join me from Twitter, AmiMaxJoy, or I actually have an opened up the YouTube, so AmiMaxJoy, I think that was. Um, It's still experimental stage, but you can check from there to join if you're YouTuber. You're easier for you to check on YouTube or apps, of course. Um, and to just to connect to yourself and embody, and sometimes it's easier to do it together, join someone's energy or where the energy is. So I like to do it for myself and holding the space. If you like to join, please join. And if you know how to make origami crane, the bird, which I actually shared last year at summertime as an origami challenge, and every day making one bird for self and for others, two birds a day. And I taught how to make it. And if you learn it and master it, and please join to make one. And if you're new to here, and please let me know, that I'm more than happy to share, do in the how to make one session here on Haps. Hi, hello, thank you for stopping by the other one. That was like I was not there and Camila was stopped walking. So uh, so that's what I was thinking. EGA. So, and today I made two birds with this and this. I chose the color for the flag color, that region, especially needing the extra energy and peace and love. Yeah, suckling. Yeah, I was not there, and then I restarted again, and now it's available fully play. So please join for that. Yes, I was not there, and then I restarted again, and it's just about the 20 minutes of doing that mindfulness practice. So yeah, and it's natural to picking up on this energy that not directly related to what your everyday life or your intentional creation, but these are the things that confirming that we are all connected. And mhm. And it's a good way to practice that boundaries and own, and then use our own personal power effectively, which is to change yourself, embodying yourself, and to spread that energy that we can share with that, and to extend, expand. That's what the word is. And if we are unhappy, and then it's very difficult to share happy. If we lack of having love, and then it's very difficult to share love. So feed own energy first, especially empath, like no boundary and sponge, and being part of that. And then just where am I, kind of feeling strange, like upset, irritated, and don't know what's happening. I've been really feeling anxious. Yeah, that's what the word anxiousness is. So what the heck is going on? And then realize that, oh, no wonder. So once we become identifying that, we can identify the cause of it, and then we can work on for the solution. So, and my solutions for myself is to embody peace. So please feel free to join me. And then I know that I'm not the only one. um And as an healer, I received the healing request from the circle members, and then the empath is having sort of like a similar feeling, and then didn't know what the cause of that energetic discomfort, and then now become clear. So um, please feel free to join, and knowing that I'm not the only one feeling, and that is part of the feeling. That's the beginning of it, and then to do the things to embody the peace and love for ourselves first, and together doing it. So I was mentioning about that. Uh, hmm I'm not guaranteeing that I do every day. Nothing in life is guaranteed, but I would like to share moments to make some origami. This is a symbol of peace, love. Um, so take a moment and make one. And therein that, one bird is just about the right amount of conscious breath and connecting to self, and then embodying it somehow. That's what I realized that while I was doing last year. And then making another one is making sure like a farming that, like more embodying, make it stronger, that feeling. So carrying that within us to closing your eyes for the night or beginning of the day, wherever and whatever that you prefer, to align to that piece of goodness within us. That's the beginning of the world peace. And then I think another important things that I realized, that is because of this technology give us all the informations, and we are unsure about what is truth. And I came from commercial communication, which is advertising, and people's perceptions and sending out the message as the way that we want to. So it's like a mind perception game designer, so to speak. Um, and I'm telling you that this media is crafted for whatever that who is running that media. So what is running your consciousness is you. You are 5%. Subconscious, unconscious, and consciousness is only a 5%. So taking that is the filter in your heart. It's your spirit knows that is this good, means resonating to love, peace. It's not the mind, it's the feeling. We are something born with. It's the faith of the creature on earth to live together, and then to trust in your intuition, knowingness, just not the wolf neck, and then to, I think that is very important lessons through this opportunity after the pandemic, or or during the pandemic. On top of that, what we can use as an lessons and challenge and opportunity for us to evolve or grow is to trust in self, trusting own love and peace, and do something means like using own power to strengthen that love within us and connect with something resonating, and then it's feel good to the truth to you. So please do not believe what I'm saying or what you're hearing from me, but what you resonate in. That's something that you can trust to yourself and your value. And thank you. Hi, Mel. So that's the practice, I think. Hello. Oh, thank you. That's good. So Mel is the origami challenge participant from last year. Um, and isn't this something? This origami challenge I just ran last year during this Tokyo Olympic season, and then now the Winter Olympic just ended it, and then doing it again. So something about the peace and interesting and energy repeating pattern, traversing pattern. So there isn't a pattern, and some sentences came to my awareness that I would like to share as resonating to me is that this is the ending, beginning of the ending. So something end, then we got to put the period, right? And there's been familiar need to be changed because to ending that. So these old stuff is coming up, the old energetic patterns in many levels. And then as on a collective, hello, is there familiar with the Winter Olympic after that? And then something happened 4 years ago. It's, or like more than that. The energy travels really in patterns. And what we can do is to observe the pattern. And then, especially for as in a collective, and then also our own journey travels. So then to make it as an beginning of the ending. So I didn't even pay much attention last week, the February the 22nd, which is happened to be the Tuesday, which I was doing the broadcast the last week because the Monday was so off, and then I did that. And then numerologically, that was the 2022. It's like a number of two. It's very unstable, but it's the gateway opening to the new portal open, according to that specialist. So it's no wonder. And then another story is that 2 p.m., 2:22 p.m. on that February 22, 2022, Mount Fuji's temperature was 2 Celsius. It was like whole 2 resonance. Isn't it something that's the numerologically portal open aligned? And then boom, that something happened. So I totally resonate to that the beginning of the ending of old. And sometimes it's the ending is uncomfortable. Even it's familiar and enjoying part of that, but that's what the nature of the ending, the graduation, excitement for the new unknown future, but it's sad and it's like need a change is always uncomfortable in a massive way. So perhaps that is the happening we are being part of as on a collective on top of pandemic. It's like amazing era that we are at. So this, and then this is the day of the final of the month. Oh my goodness, it's that too much happening. And my personal, what is the personal? My little me world is emotionally ups and down, but I'm having a very good quality sleep. So thanks for the circle that I feel the connection and connectedness, and I know that I'm not the only one, and we can send the energy and to reminding us to feed the love and goodness to ourselves. Self love first. Okay. Sorry, I don't understand that person. Okay, so here is the reminder of the week to wrap up the February and and mastering the energy change for our own bettering together. Okay, so here is the reminder of the week. Mm. The card is a healing sadness. Healing sadness. The fifth energy center, color blue. It's the throat chakra, communication. Express authentically the heart and mind balance and to express. Sadness is one of the five basic human emotions: love, joy, fear, anger, and sadness. Sadness. Isn't this interesting that expressing sadness, it's pretty timely. It's always timely, remember. So the unhealthy thought is, even if I speak my mind, it never changes anything. So why bother? Even if I speak my mind, it never changes anything. So why bother? Isn't that interesting? That's unhealthy thought. The healthy thought is, I now effectively communicate the clarity in my mind to everyone around me. I now effectively communicate the clarity in my mind to everyone around me. So let's check what Dr. Mona Lisa needs to add on this. Healing sadness, the fifth emotional center, fifth energy center. Healing sadness, 7. Page 7. Okay. So, healing sadness. If we can't speak our minds, feelings are frequently transformed into a sense of hopelessness, helplessness, and ultimately depression. A healthy mood requires clear communication skills, or the four rights, saying the right thing to the right person to the right time, at the right time, with the right amount of intensity. This has been a very bumpy first 2 months. Indeed, indeed. I agree totally, Mel. People with a history of abuse frequently lack of kind of assertiveness. For example, if they're angry at the level 1, they're initially likely not to say anything. The sadness silently fastest grows and marinates until finally, one of out of the blue, they explode. Or some individuals cannot express their feelings to someone important, like their boss. So the anger and sadness gets averted to um, surrogate, like a child. If we don't learn to skillfully communicate our feelings, we are likely to blur out our feelings at the absolute worst time, in a way that makes things more painful for everybody. Skillful communication requires good timing. Ouch. Well, actually, this was me and so familiar. And that's probably one of the reasons that I took communication as my profession, to articulate and to communicate what's in mind and feeling. But do it for other people is my profession, but the hardest is the own feeling. It's the hardest things to express in, and then that is related to childhood experience up to 7. So unknown scar was there, and reading that took my part of my spiritual journey. But learning the skills to openly expressing, it's such an important skills, and everybody must learn at school at some level, and that really enhance the quality of our life, and able to express the feeling to whom anyone around with the sense of self and the trust and openness, skill free. Isn't that nice? And then my life, actually, I went to the workshop in LA. I was living in LA and master in that without intending to master in it, but I happened to have that training, and from there I was like, wow. So I always wanted to teach that when I had an opportunity. I used to teach over online, but emotion to express. And one of the important element is to become aware of own emotion. That's the only things that you can do for yours, and no one can do that for you. And once you can become aware of that, and then consciously, objectively, um, observe that, and then I can teach how to let that out because I'm the specialist. So the hardest part is to become aware of own emotion and detach it, and to become noticing it. And that is actually needing the tool. Then I use the word and the writing as a random writing tool to become familiar with the old energetic pattern, to noticing it. And that's the 80% of the work. And then I made it as a 3 weeks training online course to do it together, each day, to practicing it, to let the emotion out and then observe with no judgment. And then from there, only the 20% is the expression into how to bring that out in a way that people can resonate to what we need to express. So yeah, that's what the skill. And I remember that when I was a child, empath, and then I was feeding on feeding, but at the same time, empathically, the people around me is feeding, and so sensing both, and it's hard to put that out because empathically, intuitively knowing that what they would say, because listening what I need to say, so that is the hardest dynamic that I was encouraged to speak out, and always being said that, oh, your timing is always off. Like my parents are saying, your timing, you got to practice the timing to say that I did it. And then all the being cornered, and more layer not to speak up. But when I give an opportunity to speak out as in a public speaking, and I'm just totally open because just to speak up. So anyhow, that's my own nature, the energetic pattern. So if you noticing your own emotional pattern, and especially sadness, and then especially right now, choosing the right timing in the right place and in the right people is it's very important, especially this the tool we have as an internet to some platform allow us to speak out, and then at the same time we want to protect ourselves. So again, that I now effectively communicate the clarity in my mind to everyone around me. Isn't this relate to the last week's reminder? Sometimes something about expressing self. Um, no matter what other people are saying, it's important to let that out. Unless otherwise, emotion, right brain, and left brain logics and word to express, and this pathway is not clearly working, and then these energy emotion is stored into the body, and then the body carried that negative energy. If the anger, then it goes to the liver. That's what we yeah, that's what we talked about. So it's very contextual reminder to work on that feeding intuition, what we are sensing, what we are feeling. Just like last week I was feeling so anxious, offness, um and then I need to speak out and request and healing to my healer, um, and then realize that that is the part of the healing. Having that healer around me is my tool, my resource, and very helpful resource. And to be able to share here is my resource. And thank you, and the healing process. So yeah, to you finding your own place, tools to express in a way that energy return system to, support one another is a very useful tool for having the experience more in better quality. So I highly recommend that to have your own. And thank you for connecting. Your presence to me is such a healing, and appreciate that as an joiner of the energy circle and supporting and being supported. This is sort of like a community to open up. Sometimes it's bumpy energy comes and goes. It's part of the energy. So, but I truly appreciate that. Again, unhealthy thought is, even if I speak my mind, it never changes anything. So why bother? Sometimes that we are dealing with the collective energy, and then one person's voice doesn't matter, especially you're from the countries like collective first and belong to mindset, and then operation moves based on that fundamental way of thinking. And but we are encouraged to change and finding a new way to create the better um, collective energy to basically share love, peace, joy, happy. That's what we are here for as a human species. But it's easy to hurt one another, including myself, to because of that we are so weak when we being cornered, and sometimes it's because we are so weak, and because of that push someone, because of the defense to push someone and have them be in corner. That's all mirroring, and it's ironically that we are seeing as an unhappy situation. It's ongoing situation right now, right? Thank you. So yes, and I would like to pull the card for your personal reminder. If you like, please drop the number between 1 to 10 for me. More than happy to pick the card. Anyone? Runny nose. Thank you. 4. Thank you, Mel, for participating. I appreciate that. 1, 2. So anyone who want to get the reminder card, please feel free to pick the number between 1 to 10 for me. Okay. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's for Mel. Interesting. Again, the fifth energy center, throat chakra. Color blue. Living in society. Living in society. the fifth energy center, throat chakra, express authentically, being part of society. So unhealthy thought first, and then the healthy thought, and then let me go scan your energy and come up with a reminder might be helpful for you. Okay, unhealthy thought. My voice cannot be heard. What I have to offer doesn't matter. That's unhealthy thought. The healthy thought is my unique voice is an authentic part of the life force that needs to be expressed. That's interesting. It's so aligned to this week's flow. And, these things reminds me that we are really part of this collective energy, isn't it? So let me go scan your energy, Mel. I got something to do with the sky. Sky is the limit. The color blue, obviously, might be a good color to embody for this week for you and also the world around us. I feel that a very, very logical mindset is all around right now. It's very down the earth and it's very promising. And I like the way that you set that, not the boundary, but that how you gonna hold yourself as a person in the situation. So maybe that's a good reminder to expressing it, because seems to be what you've been working on becoming more solid and more like under your ownership of that new element is becoming more settling or becoming more familiar to your own beingness. So I think it's a good time to let that out, practicing that to express in new way or a new you or a new form. Might be a good beginning for the March ending this day as on a February. And yeah, starting this new month to just to initiate a commit to express in new way and use this new change for the month as the way to switch to the new you. I'm sending the healing, and then I think that you are ready to switch on to that new way what you've been embodying it. And then the springtime, it's going to be full swing in the sometimes around May. So shooting for that and just start experimenting using the March would be a good time mapping flow for this particular situation for you. Thank you for allowing, Mel. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. So the birds, the bluebirds, Ukraine, it's their throat chakra. And sadly, I was not so familiar with the region and countries and nature until this brought to our attention. But yeah, I mean, we are all connected, and the COVID showed us how we are connected in many levels and many ways. So as an a spirit, as an energy. So the yellow and blue, the flagship color, reminds in the sense of self to express. I interpret it as an from that energy chakra, the self will power, self-esteem, to bring it out, voice out. And what we've been seeing is perhaps the sign. We can use it that way. I can use it that way for own embodiment too. And always important to have a balance. It's not good or bad. It's how we're gonna formulate yin and yang, dark and light, and not just the one side. We need both to make the life interesting. And that's drama, contrast. 10%, 10% light and dark. That creates drama, contrast. And most of our life is in between 80% gray area. But we can enjoy how we gonna formulate the light to experience life. And so diversity and how we gonna create that joy in that, using this contrast as an emotional. Number two actually is the unstable number, but partnership, or um, light, dark, and to use it for enjoyable life experience. That's what I take. And then a sense of self and being part of collective, and to express as a voice. So that, think about what we can do for self and the world around us. Size doesn't matter, that always starting from within. So listen to own voice and to voice out in the harmonious balancing way with the golden rules. And what I noticed over the last week is that I was sometimes noticing the so unkind word. I didn't speak out, but it's just the idea of unkindness, which I didn't like that much for myself. And that is something that unstable self, unhealthy part of myself is projecting as that. So when we are healthy and enoughness, and then we can support others. In order to support, then we got to have enough. And I mean, they are healthy. If we are hungry and then we cannot help hunger, we need to feed our hunger first to share the supportive way of hunger. So the love is also that we got to have enough love, always self-love. So treat yourself in the most loving way. Punishing self is not gonna support. And then some Buddhist teachings, I think that's the weird way of learning the Buddhist, like boomerang coming back to my awareness in a way. But they value the negative thought. And then, of course, the negative thought is darkness. It's the needing part, and then the positive. We need both again. So, but staying there all the time, the dark and wet, that state is unhealthy. Using that to balancing out to keep the healthy way. How do we know that healthy is the good feeding? Because we grow, so something new is healthy to having. So let go and invite in. That's also a healthy growth. So we check, this health in each area of our life, like physical body, relationship health, financial health, and then the personal growth. It's a healthy growth as an growing species, as an becoming a better person. It's a good time to do. And then again, moon cycle is one way, and then month ending the month is also, and ending the season is also. So today is the last day of February, and this month, the starting the new lunar year. It's the tiger year. It's been said that it's the bumpy actually tiger. It's we are already experiencing that. The balance is very important to be able to identify and adjust for betterment. Indeed. Balance seems to be also my life lessons, like a course of it, because my bone structure, I was born like imbalanced bone structure, and then I was told that bone like that bone structure after 30 some years of living, and it's like always being pointed out, like, how come your balance is so off? My parents always, since I was a child, doing the ballet class, and then some balance is off, and then being told after 30 years from then, and realize that it's not my fault, that I was born like that. My bone structure supposed to be separated is connected. Such a relief to know that, oh, that's not my fault. That's something that I was born with. Same as my brain style too. So noticing, accepting as it is such a healing. And then the balancing out with what we are born with is the skills and the way to enjoy with that. So this is me. This part belongs to me. I gain in to make better balance, and then there's many way to balancing out, right? Like a blending something, formulating, and I guess that creativity can do a lot of work, and that's part of the life's dynamic. Being creative to finding the many different kind of solutions and flavors to enjoy the yumminess of the way balancing out. Yeah, I feel like for the last decade, I became a good juggler of life. This and this, and it's called. The funny thing is that zigzagler is, the mental zigzagler, but a zigzag, juggler, juggling, zigzag, going zigzagging on yellow brick road with juggling something that came, and then to mastering that. But I think that's pretty good metaphor. That consciousness using 5%, and then doing just juggling what comes and go, but still remaining own value. And then sometimes the own value is changing, growing, learning new things, and then shifting. Allow the change for the growth, and but still both feet are on earth to go in own path. And then going zigzag. We can become Jesus. Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes that we just some companies ad says just do it. Just do it. It's like, oh, complaining about raining and storming, but just to do it, to protect from the rain or storm, and just to doing it, being part of nature. And then something that I learned in shocking way is that about over 10 years ago, that Japan hit by a huge earthquake, I was in California, and tsunami was into the cities, and it just unbelievable view that I saw on the screen as live. And what happened to the country that I came from, and then all the family members and all the friends, and then all, you know, and that moment was actually hit me in so deep and triggered to the spiritual awakening actually, that hey, we are part of this nature no matter what. um it happened and it happened. What we can do is to rebuild if we want to have it back the way and then make it better. But no one, nothing can against the nature, you know. And then in California, Australia too, Mel. It's the wildfire in California, also all the burn and fire. But that happens. That's nature, you know. Something that um, it we cannot do. We may be able to protect in ahead of time, but when the power of the Mother Earth or the universe, it just took it, kick it, and then that's it. So the focus on what we can do is instead of worrying about it. So but this time what we've been seeing is a man-made, mind created, not so much nature universe created, but the human made. um so that's why we want to, especially for that, embodying peace, something that we can individually do and as in a collective. So, well, thank you for joining, and a happy end of the February. This February is supposed to be the transformative month. Even if you don't like it, shift already took place, and we got to deal with it. We got to make it better from here and minimize the damage and use the energy for bettering. That is to beginning of the ending. So that's what I like to take. And thank you for joining. Thank you, Mel. Thank you. You have a wonderful evening, and I see you when I see you. And thank you for sharing the origami peace embodiment over Twitter retweet. I truly appreciate that. And thank you for Twitter joiner, always leaving the heart and the tweet. I truly appreciate that. And you have a wonderful end of the month, and I see you when I see you. Bye.